Welcome to JJ Sports Talk, the channel for the sports you love. In this video, I'm going to be talking about my predictions for the NFL playoffs. I tried to think about my predictions and make them right, but who knows, so hopefully you enjoy this video.
Hey guys, and welcome back to JJ Sports Talk. And today I'm just bringing you guys a video talking about the NFL playoffs that are about to happen. So today is Friday, and the playoffs are going to happen Saturday and Sunday, or the wild card, but that's the start of the playoff. So I'm going to try to get this video out before the games happen. They might come out after a few games, but these are my predictions. So I just didn't want them to come out after, because then there would be no point. So might as well get started. I'm trying to keep this really brief, not too long, but while also giving you guys a good description of my picks and who I think is going to win. So let's get into it with the trivia question first. So the trivia question is, who was the last team to repeat as Super Bowl champions? So I'll let you guys think about that during the video and then give you that to you at the end. So first of all, we're going to start in the AFC. So we have the 3-seed Pittsburgh Steelers, my Pittsburgh Steelers, but I always keep bias out of these videos, versus the Cleveland Browns. So I'm going to get off to who I'm going to pick, and then I'll explain it. I'm taking the Steelers in this matchup, and I'm picking the Steelers because you need to ignore that the last week that they just played, because Pittsburgh's resting starters, Cleveland had a few guys out. That game didn't matter. But I think that a lot of Cleveland fans are scared and Pittsburgh fans are confident that we started Mason Rudolph and basically started our practice squad defense and still only lost by 2 to basically a whole Browns offense. So bringing back TJ Watt, Cam Hayward, and bringing Big Ben back into the picture helps the Steelers immensely. And I think that having James Conner back healthy now really helps. And our receivers had a little rough patch in there of not being able to catch the ball, and they're starting to catch the ball again. Like Claypool's looked really good these last few weeks. Juju stopped dancing and decided to start catching footballs again, and he's actually playing really good right now. And I just don't think that Cleveland is at the point where they can compete with the Steelers right now. Maybe in a year or two, because they're building there. But currently, as it stands, a healthy Steelers team and a healthy Browns team, and the Steelers aren't even that healthy, and really neither are the Browns, the Steelers are going to win. So I'm picking the Steelers. For the Browns to upset the Steelers, Baker Mayfield's going to have to play out of his mind. The Browns defense is going to have to play out of its mind. I mean, I don't know. I just don't see a world where the Browns beat the Steelers in this matchup, so I'm picking the Steelers in this game. And then we have the 2-seeded Colts, or the 2-seeded Bills versus the 7-seeded Colts. In that game, I'm taking the Bills. That's pretty self-explanatory. If you've watched the NFL, the Bills are one of the best stories right now. They're playing some of the best football that they've played in a while. And I just think that they're just too tough of a team right now to play against. The Colts the Colts rushing attack with Jonathan Taylor is super good right now, I think. They're actually, their running game is really good. But, they're just not at a place where they can compete with the Bills. Stephon Diggs in that offense has just completely changed the dynamic of the offense. I just don't. Josh Allen. There's just so many reasons why the Bills are just so good right now, and so many reasons why their team is just. I say they're more compact and together than the Colts are. Phillip Rivers just isn't made. He's just not at the place where he can just compete at a high level right now. So therefore, I'm going to take the Bills in this matchup. I think that their defense is playing excellent. They've had a good defense, especially last year, but their offense really picked it up with the acquisition of Diggs, and I think that the Bills will win that game. Then we have the 5-seed Titans versus the 4-seed Ravens. I'm taking the Ravens in this game. I've watched the Ravens the last few weeks. I know they haven't played a lot of good competition, but Lamar has looked right back into his MVP form. I think that Browns game really flipped the script on their season. The Ravens offense looks potent again. They did last year. It's a rematch of that game last year in the divisional round where the Titans dominated them. The Ravens aren't going to stop Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry is going to run. But I think that the Ravens offense will be better than the Titans defense, because I watched the Packers play the Titans. Obviously, you're in the snow, so that affects things. But the Titans defense just looked bad. They just did not look good against Aaron Rodgers and the Packers, which is a whole different demon than the Ravens. But I feel like Lamar in the running game of the Ravens, which is the running game is super good for the Ravens. I'm going to have to take the Ravens in that matchup. I'm going to take them over the Titans. So, we'll finish off the AFC with these. We'll pick the divisional rounds right now. So we have the Pittsburgh Steelers with the Buffalo Bills. And it hurts, but in this game I'm going to have to pick the Buffalo Bills because they played in the regular season and Buffalo killed the Steelers. The Steelers hit a rough patch in the middle of their season, and that was a game in the rough patch. But the Bills are just a complete team right now. They're playing as a compact team. Josh Allen is probably one of the top 5 quarterbacks right now. I'm not saying he is a top 5 quarterback, but he is playing. If you're telling what quarterbacks are playing the best, he is playing like a top 5 quarterback right now. He's not, but he's playing like one. And Stephon Diggs looks like it's arguable, but he's playing like a top 5 receiver. That combination is, I want to say carrying their offense, but it's a big part. Their running game with Singletary and Zach Moss is pretty good. Like, they are a really good team, and their defense is really slept on, but they are a good defense too. The Steelers just are very inconsistent. Nothing against Ben. I mean, I'm wearing a Roethlisberger jersey right now, but he's not. He just doesn't have his legs under him like he used to. He's kind of looks shaky at times. I mean, he's a 38-year-old coming off an elbow surgery. I mean, what are you gonna do? But I mean, I'm gonna pick the Bills in this matchup. It hurts, but I don't think the Steelers. I mean, the Steelers need legs under them, and I think they're too young to compete right now. But once they get healthy next year, I think that there's good things. But I'm trying to take the Bills to win that game. And then I have the Ravens versus the Chiefs. I'm just gonna keep this brief. I'm taking the Chiefs. The Chiefs are really good. They have not lost a step after the winning the Super Bowl. They are an excellent team. Mahomes is completely worth that paycheck that he got. Their offense is potent as a snake bite, and their defense looks really good. So I mean, I have nothing to say here. Lamar, I want to see Lamar versus Mahomes in the playoffs. I've dreamed of that. That is going to be an awesome matchup, but it's not a matchup that I can see the Ravens winning at this point. I think the Chiefs are just going to be too much. I have the Bills and the Chiefs. So the Bills and the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, or in the conference championship, in the AFC championship game, I have the Chiefs winning that game over the Bills. Again, I think the Chiefs are just too, like, they are humming right now. I think they're humming more right now than they were last year going to the playoffs. The Bills just aren't there yet. They will be. I'd say in the next 2 or 3 years, they might win a Super Bowl. Don't mark my words, but I'm saying that they're at that point where if they build more, they could win a Super Bowl. But the Chiefs are just the experienced team. I feel like their offense is just a little bit better than the Bills' is. But the defenses are pretty similar. But at this point in the world, in NFL, I'm taking the Chiefs to go to the Super Bowl over the Bills. But that's going to be an excellent game. It won't be a blowout. The Bills can compete with the Chiefs, but I'm going to take the Chiefs to represent the AFC in the Super Bowl. So the NFC, we'll speak to this side a little bit more. So we have we'll just start right here. We have the Washington football team in Tampa Bay. I'm going to keep this brief. I'm taking Tampa Bay because Washington's from the NFC East, and none of those teams deserve to be in the playoff. I'm sorry, but if you're a Washington football team fan, but they have a good little young core they have going, but Alex Smith is not a franchise quarterback that you can build off of. He's coming. I mean, obviously, it's a great story because he really messed up his leg, but he's back now. He's probably going to win Comeback Player of the Year. In fact, I think he should win Comeback Player of the Year, but he's not a quarterback that's going to lead them in the right direction. They need to get a quarterback that's going to fit their system. But, I mean, it's a feel-good story. I mean, the winners of the NFC least, but they're going to get beat by Tampa Bay. Tom Brady and the offense is playing as best as they have all year. Tampa Bay is not an extremely good team, but they're going to be good enough to beat Washington. So, number 2, New Orleans versus the Bears. I don't think the Bears deserve to be in the playoffs either, so I'm taking New Orleans. New Orleans has been a little shaky at points this year, but the leader of that team is Alvin Kamara and Alvin Kamara only. That dude is a beast. Feed him the ball. He could have had 7 touchdowns. He had 6 against whoever they played on. The one I can't remember who they played, but he had 6 touchdowns. I mean, what are you gonna say? I don't need to remember who they played. He had 6 touchdowns. That dude is a beast. Feed him the ball, New Orleans. They're gonna beat Chicago. Sorry, Bears, but you're just not there yet. You looked better towards the end of the year, but you're not there yet. And then I'm gonna take Seattle over the Rams, the 3 seed Seahawks for 6 seed Rams. The Seahawks have been shaky. they've been shaky at some points. They started out good and then went shaky. Russ looked a little shaky. But I think that they have more weapons on their team than the Rams. The Rams surprised me that they even made it to this far this year. I didn't think they were going to be as good as they were this year. I don't think they were impressive, but they surprised me. But it's not going to be their year to advance in playoffs. I'm going to say take the Seahawks. So we have Tampa Bay versus Green Bay. I'm taking Green Bay all the way. I mean, Green Bay has looked really good this year. But, I mean, I don't think that Tom Brady and the Bucs are going to be good enough to beat Green Bay as a whole. Green Bay just looked invincible against the NFC teams. They've lost a few games here and there, but, I mean, they're good enough to take the number 1 seed. And I think that them going into Lambeau Field, the warm weather Buccaneers going into the cold Lambeau Field is not a good combination for them. So I'm going to take the Packers in that one. So then the Seahawks and New Orleans. I'm taking New Orleans in this one. I think that I really want to see Drew Brees succeed, and I think that he's going to come through. I think that New Orleans is finally starting to get healthy, and their defense is starting to play a lot better. And I think that Seattle's been too shaky sometimes. I mean, you don't really know what you're going to get from Russell Wilson. You don't know if you're going to get the MVP candidate or if you're going to get the shaky version. And I don't think that they're going to get the MVP candidate. I think that the New Orleans will advance over Seattle. I think that they're just going to overpower them with their running attack. Seattle doesn't really have that running attack that New Orleans does. They're more of a throw it to DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett and let them get touchdowns. But I think that New Orleans is going to shut that down and they're going to win. So I have New Orleans versus Green Bay. I'm going to take the Packers in that one. I think that as far as New Orleans made it in my playoff bracket, I think that Green Bay is just too much of a talented team. I mean, they're just humming. Aaron Rodgers is probably going to win the MVP. He's my pick. It's him or Mahomes at this point. But Green Bay's defense is going to shut down New Orleans' offense. I just think that the offense of Green Bay, I mean, Devontae Adams, Aaron Jones, Tanyan, all those receivers, Lazard, I mean, any of those guys you can throw out there and they're just gonna contribute. They're all contributors. Valdez Scantling, like all those guys are just really, really good receivers for Rodgers. They just built that team around him and they're really good. So I'm gonna take the Packers over New Orleans. So I have Kansas City versus Green Bay in the Super Bowl, which a lot of people have that. I'm not trying to be boring, but I mean I'm not trying to be wrong, and I think that's a pretty solid Super Bowl matchup for this year. So I'm going to cut right to the chase. I am going to take the Kansas City Chiefs in this matchup over the Green Bay Packers because of one thing and one thing only, youth. And I think that the Chiefs are the speedier, faster team than the Packers. And I don't see the Packers being able to keep up with the Chiefs. Don't get me wrong, Green Bay's offense can score, but the Chiefs can really score. Like, I don't know. That could be the duel for the MVP right there. That could be the MVP duel, is Mahomes versus Rodgers. They're both good quarterbacks. I mean, both quarterbacks are going to play good. I mean, both of them have solid defenses. But I don't think that Green Bay secondary can keep up with speedy receivers of Kansas City. I'm putting Tyreek Hill down the field, and there's not a lot of people that can cover him. Jair Alexander's a really good corner, but I don't think that he's going to be able to cover Tyreek Hill. And then you have Tyreek Hill. Then you got to cover Travis Kelce, and then you got to cover Sammy Watkins. I mean, man, there's so many weapons on this team, and Andy Reid knows how to use them. So I'm going to take the Chiefs over the Packers in the Super Bowl. Sorry, Packers fans. I think you're going to get to the Super Bowl, but I don't think you're going to win. I'm going to take the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl. So, yeah, that's my predictions. If you want to see my thing, there's that just for all your proof. So I didn't cheat. If some of these games happen before I upload this video, there's my proof right there that these are my picks. But to wrap it up, let me just give you my trivia question. So the trivia question was, what was the last team to repeat winning the Super Bowl? The answer is the 04-05 Pats, or New England Patriots. In 04 they beat the Carolina Panthers. In 05 they beat the Philadelphia Eagles to win the Super Bowl. So in mine, I picked the Chiefs to repeat. So then they would be the last team to repeat. But we'll see. My NFL picks have not been very good the last few years, so hopefully they're better this year. I'm sorry if I offended any of my friends that like their NFL teams, but I picked my team to lose too, so it's okay. But yep, that's all I got for you guys today. So thank you for watching JJ Sports Talk. Goodbye.